It's Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. White Gay in the building. How you doing?
Yo, good morning. I'm fine.
Good to have you.
Thank you, everybody, for my birthday wishes. Thank you. I had a very peaceful, lovely birthday.
We know.
Out of Lagos, out of Nigeria. I went to Wida. Mariah has started,
but she succeeded.
Go ahead. So how was the...
You know that they heard you. This will let us tell them the noise they heard.
Nothing happened. Okay. So, good, happy birthday, happy belated.
Thank you.
But we're still going to eat our peppered rice. Peppered rice, yes. Because I've not had shy peppered rice in years now. And I was looking forward to this birthday that...
Look at them. These are the people that wanted to chop my money. And that's why Theo just said, look, let me just take you to Wida. I was first fighting it. Then, I thought about it. Oh, my goodness. Peaceful.
You were swimming. We saw you. So, old love is sweet. I was looking at Instagram posts. Uncle Theo was posting your pictures. I'm like, oh, this is so sweet.
I met a couple that I think Azuka's friends. They just got married in their 50s too, and they're just bubbling and they're excited, they're happy. They're like, this old love is really different. Yeah, it's a different kind of feeling because you're an adult.
No children.
The kids are older, you know, you're just having a ball. How are you doing, Nima Alaja?
I'm fine. Happy Children's Day and happy birthday to the children of the...
Yeah.
Is Amaka now?
Amaka, yes. The children of the ladies.
The children of the ladies of your view. Because she's a Children's Day birthday girl.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Amaka. You know, meeting them, Amaka and Rama, has really brought
interesting.
You know, May babies are really special.
Oh, yeah, we...
Oh. But Amaka loves to live life. And you know what I'm learning from her. She's living deliberately. She's living her life.
Yes, fantastic. How are you doing, Tokwe?
I'm doing very well. So, of course, happy birthday to Amaka as well. I was like the freshest of them all. See that photo shoot, see the skin, see the makeup. I'm like, hey. But I was in Asaba this weekend, and the surprising thing, you know the way this life happens. So I told somebody I'm going to Asaba. The person was like, what do you want to eat? I said, banga. This is insala. I had felt like I was going to eat banga, I was going to eat insala. The person that was telling me I should come and eat, they would pick you from the airport. But no, I didn't even see the person for the 3 days I was in Asaba. It was someone else I just met at the airport. And the guy was like, he's a billionaire conclave member in Dr. Lumide Emmanuel's mentorship program. And he was like, you are in Asaba. Oh my God. The next day in the morning, he just arrived with abacha, fish, pepper sauce, and boli. He said, let me welcome you to Asaba. I was like, oh my God. That was the only food that I now got to eat that was native to them. But what you were expecting might not work out. But God has a better plan for you. So thank you, Dominion Pearl. I'm grateful. I enjoyed Asaba. I enjoyed my speaking engagement. I really thank God for all the platforms He's opened up for me in recent times. Like, I cannot even have a weekend at home. But keep it coming. I'm grateful.
Fantastic. So let's go.
And what happened this weekend?
Weekend was okay. It was nice.
When we saw on Instagram that there was by day.
Yes, it was a mistaken post. I didn't want to post it on Instagram, but yeah.
Because everybody is
I did. Because I didn't post. I was very careful not to post anything. But Sunday, I don't know what happened between the people that used my phone and the people that carried for the judge. I said, who sent you message?
What did they post?
So I had a small party for the kids.
Okay.
I wanted to restrict it just for their classmates because they actually had friends. They're twins, and all their friends wanted to come to the party.
Yes.
And then in our small neighborhood, we have a lot of 15 kids, and the whole neighborhood, and the people they go to church with, and the people they go to less after school with. So they had a whole community that wanted to go to their parties. So I made it really small. It was really nice. It was great to have. The kids had a great time. They had fun. I'm really excited about that. So. And yeah, and after that, you have to pay back this party
with results.
With results, because I cannot do this kind of party and start regretting it when the results come out. So everybody knows.
So they were 10, Abby?
They were 10, twins.
I know when Elizabeth was 10, you had another big party.
Yeah.
That one was a big party.
Yeah, 10s are landmarks.
10, yeah.
The last one is 5 years old. That one, until 5 years. I can't no more parties in this house until the next 5 years at God's grace. Let's go on a short break now. It's still Tuesday. When we come back, we'll look at the front pages of the paper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, we're going to start with the nation. Council autonomy battle heightens. How we fared in 9 months by Keyamo and Kiari. Emir crisis. Kano court orders eviction of Bayero from palace. Benin royal family suspends rebellious duke for betrayal. And Zenith Bank's GMD Onyegu is Africa's best CEO of the year. Okay, which story?
Okay, so I have the Benin story. The members of the Benin royal family, consisting of the descendants of Oba Oberame, Oba Eweka, Oba Kenzwa II, Oba Erejewa, and others, addressed a press conference where they reiterated that Professor Gregory Akenzwa, who is the Enige, one of the Eniges of one of the, or that's the Duke of one of the kingdoms under the Benin community under the Benin Kingdom, has been suspended. And they said this is because he took royal matters to the courts. According to them, the matter should have been left. Yes, it should have left it as the Benin traditional institution should not have been taken to court. According to the statement, said after a careful review of the facts, the family has decided to suspend Professor Akenzwa. He was a former deputy VC of the University of Benin. He said they suspended him from the Benin royal family for his rebellion against the Benin traditional institution. He is no longer to participate in any activity connected with the Benin royal family. All members of the family are strongly directed not to relate, associate, or engage with Professor Akenzwa for as long as he remains suspended from the family. Professor Akenzwa had nothing to say. He was in Lagos for an undisclosed...
You know, that's a hot topic, though.
Serious one.
The hot topic, because it's his constitutional right to seek any kind of redress.
So he had a conduct which was, looked at by the Benin king, present king, who is his nephew, amazingly, and who thought he was out of line.
Right.
And for that, he was suspended. He took his suspension to the court to enforce his rights.
It's a traditional matter.
Yes, he took his suspension to the court to enforce his rights. Yes, Oba no they go court.
Because I even saw it, I think was it TV or something, where
Instagram.
All the Benin, they
went
all
to court.
followed the king.
Yeah. How dare you take him to court?
Insult. You are taking our own
Making him
Oba.
subject.
And you know the Oba is really revered.
Yes,
They don't play with their king.
But you see, again, so it's like a topic with two sides. So it's either way. So we're in a secular system, right? And obviously we recognize the obership or the institution of the chiefs. So where do we now draw the line? Because as a Nigerian citizen, who he is, he can say the situations arise where he feels he needs to go to the courts.
He subscribed to tradition himself. As a Duke, as an Enige, he knows tradition. That's why he subscribed to tradition. I think he should have explored traditional means to resolve.
Maybe he has, and he didn't go through, and he realized that, listen, the only person that can be...
No, Moraya, on this one, I know the story. He did not. He went to court.
If you know the way Obas, the Benin Obas,
we've seen that now.
They don't play with him.
Yes.
Then he took him. I said all the Edo people followed him. A war. Our king.
My king, please. Let's move this thing forward because this thing is debatable.
Even when Obaseki
went it's not a hot topic.
I know, but I have to say this last part. Even when Obaseki went to go and meet, if you see the way he was prostrating,
I know, he has to be on the
he was shaking.
He's Oba.
They don't
He's Oba of Benin. It's no anyhow. My in-laws, they revere their Oba.
If you like.
Can we move on to the hot topic now?
Yes. Other stories. All our ministers, our ministers are about to give accounts as we are marking 1 year anniversary of the administration. So a lot of them are coming out to say what they've done, particularly the Minister for Aviation, who have been monitoring. He came out to say what he has done. But when I read the entire speech, it is what he's going to do. 9 months after, he said what he heard, which he didn't confirm, was that 1 billion naira is being spent monthly on power in just in our Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, alone, 1 billion. He said he has told them that they should boycott the discos and go straight to Gencos because they are eligible, which means that they haven't implemented. He's giving account for what he has done in the past 9 months, but he's telling us what he's going to do. He mentioned that they will be moving our airports into solar panel, which is still what they are going to do. He mentioned the fact that they are not continuing the projects of Nigerian Air because majority of the funds, about 60% of the profit from Nigerian Air was going to go to Ethiopian Air. So essentially, it is Ethiopian Air just flying our flags. So he said that the former minister, which is Hadi Sirika, is still being investigated by the EFCC. And the minister has also mentioned his plans to improve security situation in airports and eliminate bureaucracy. So what I'm hearing from the minister is 9 months after, there are many things he's going to do. He's still planning.
But has not done. But you have a personal experience.
Yes, so...
which is not our hot topic today. Now, what's your story in the nation? What's your story in the nation, YK? Please. Okay. I still reading paper.
Okay, we are on the crisis in Kano, Emir crisis in Kano. So the judge has restrained the deposed monarchs from parading themselves as emirs, and the deputy governor has apologized to the NSA. It says that they've taken the matter to court and they've said the former emir, I don't know whether it's former or present now.
Because we're all confused.
We're all confused. The deposed emir should now vacate the Nasarawa Palace. Yes, so
that the reinstated emir can take over.
Okay, I thought he was already inside it. So, but the most important one is that the deputy governor apologized to the NSA for accusing him. He actually accused him of giving the emir 2 planes to go back to take over his palace.
All right, let's go on a short break now. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, we're going to move on now to the Punch. Tinubu government awards 6 trillion naira contracts for roads and others. Emirate tussle, court orders Bayero's eviction. Kano says the post-emir a threat. Dangote refinery eyes 500,000 barrel production capacity in July. Power, 12 billion naira spent annually on airports. FG considers solar. Children's Day, president, governors promise better future. AGF wrong to join Lagos in local government funds suit, says Sanwo-Olu. And 2 motorcyclists killed in Lagos police station attack, 200 bikes also seized. Okay,
so the Dangote story, which is not on the 500,000 barrel production capacity every day in July, that is the headline, is actually on the public listing of the company. So the 20 billion Dangote oil refinery would be listed in the Nigerian Stock Exchange in December 2024, according to the chairman of the Dangote Group. And he says, that's Alhaji Aliko Dangote. He says he, as a new business, he would love to have Nigerian and Africans and other investors as shareholders in the refinery, and that he would want to allow them to join in making what he called a historic move. And so they just announced the listing as well as, the capacity of the Dangote refinery, which is...
Dangote is about to cash out.
Yes. And so they said that with the Nigerian production now, they have to look into the American market for more crude oil. And they are looking, they have agreed to import about 24 million barrels of crude oil from the U.S. in the coming months. The Minister for State for Petroleum, Eneki Lokobiri, had initially said he is not aware of that. But with this reiteration in the papers, I don't know if he's still not aware, but they are looking to start. They have put out a tender for 2 million barrels of West Texas Intermediate Midland crude every month for a year, starting in July.
Which means our petrol is not cheap anymore.
Our Governor Sanwo-Olu, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has described the joint suit instituted against the 36 state governors over alleged misconduct of the local government funds as a legal anomaly. Sanwo-Olu disclosed this at a 2-day legal summit held in Ikeja yesterday. He was referencing the suit seeking to compel governors of the 36 states of the Federation to grant full autonomy to local governments. He's saying That doesn't happen in Lagos State. And in Lagos State, our local governments have autonomy. He says that the federal government is urging, he was reacting to the suit, and he said that it is interesting to read the news that the Honorable Minister of Justice and Attorney General of Federation has sued all 36 states because governors did not give autonomy to the third tier of government. The only mistake which I am going to tell our Attorney General is that some of us are in compliance. The Attorney General should have done his due diligence to identify which states are not in compliance so that we don't all sue all the 36 states together.
But then the AG is not mistaken when he says that, you know, the electoral umpire, which is for Lagos State LASEC, for instance, the State Independent Electoral Commission, who organizes local government elections, does not give autonomy to the local government. It shouldn't be. And the AG is moving that, you know, the amendment should be done to take that power back to INEC. INEC should conduct all elections.
So in some states, but I'm not sure that happens
including
in
Lagos State.
Yes, Lagos State. So the federal government is urging the Apex Court and order prohibiting state governors, as you said, from unlawful dissolution and unilateral, arbitrary, and democratically elected local government leaders for local government. Exactly. So you're very correct. That's included in the suit.
Yes,
okay.
So two motorcyclists lost their lives yesterday when they approached a police station in Ikpaja to fight them because police had decided to enforce the law, the ban on motorcycle law. So they came in their hundreds and with machetes, guns, and according to the police, guns as well, and machetes and knives and everything. So the police repelled them by shooting and they killed two motorcyclists. They have arrested 22 and seized 200 motorbikes.
In the project yesterday was rough.
I think there.
No, sorry, I was following online. They go forbid I'm there. The one that I see in Sele is enough lessons. I think we should start from stopping the importation of motorcycles if we're going to ever be able to successfully do this.
Stop the importation.
The attempt at it in Sele cost lives. In fact, it cost innocent motorist life who was not an Okada rider, neither a police officer. You know, stray bullets were just flying everywhere. And it's a consistent, whenever they attempt to enforce that, you see lives going. So we need to start.
You can't ban motorcycles. That's
importation.
You can't ban importation because
you can as a nation.
Not everybody is using it as Okada now.
Consider illegal.
Some people use it.
But we have enough that if those are
whatever you consider illegal can be banned.
I think.
Let me take the major headline.
That should be a hot topic.
First anniversary, the president, they said the government, this administration has awarded 6 trillion contracts for roads and others. The main bulk of the funds went into the construction, at least between October last year to May 14 this year. Within the past 8 months, they've awarded different infrastructural projects across critical sector. They said that they awarded contracts for the construction of airports as well as roads. They said this is in fulfillment of the promise the president made about improving by providing massive infrastructural development within Nigeria. We are expecting, I wanted to get the total number of road network that has been approved. But they didn't give us the number. They said national road network, rail, ports are also getting priority attention. This was approved in FEC. They told the members of FEC that that's things will turn around, that they've been selected. These members of FEC are all selected to perform their utmost best and the policies to ensure that there is improvement in the economy as well as infrastructural development. So they highlighted Abuja-Lokoja routes, highlighted Benue projects, and many more. So because I can't list all the projects that got the contract. However, 6 trillion naira has been committed to contracts over the past 8 months. Some of them already concluded. Some of them will be seeing the results going forward.
Daily Sun very quickly. May 30 said at home, 300,000 Southeast students risk not writing WASSCE General Mathematics. Children's Day, Tinubu promises safe, secure schools and local autonomy. FG presses for sex scrapping. That's
you took it already.
Who's taking
following up here? Sadly, 300 according to what Sun is reporting, over about 300,000 students will not be able to write their exams because of the sit-at-home that they intend to enforce on the May 30th, which according to them is Biafra Day. It's the day to celebrate Biafra Day. And that's the day when general mathematics examination is meant to hold as well. So people in the Southwest won't be able to write their general mathematics WASE examination, and they said this might jeopardize the education of all these 300,000 students who registered, because maths is a compulsory subject. I am wondering how the Minister of Education, because his picture was here, and to see how they are going to peacefully find a resolution that would allow these students to write their exams. The Abia State government has appealed to all to understand, including the leadership of IPOB, sounding a clear implication that, see, they're writing general mathematics and it must be carried out and people must write their exams. The Commissioner for Education too, the son could not reach the Commissioner for Education for Abia State, but the governor already said
it's amazing how Imam Powerful is somewhere in Finland, whatever country, and his own children are holding
He's just
exams.
declaring.
No, not Imam Powerful. Imam Powerful is here. What's the name of that one that is? Simon Ekpa.
Yes, Ekpa. So they're all there having their children having exams, and here you have 300,000 children.
It is dangerous and too risky to proceed with the exams not because we are obeying IPOB, because to insist that you don't put the children at risk. You don't know whatever evil they are.
And they put them. Can they move the kids to a different state?
Within this short notice, it's better to move the exam date. It's happened before.
Wasi is not a Nigerian exam, I just move anyhow.
It's been moved before. When I wrote WAEC, our exams were moved.
Okay, so that's
There's nothing new there.
That's
they
the
can
assurance.
move for the safety of the kids.
It can be moved. Vanguard, I think our final paper this morning, let's find a story we've not taken. Paygen goes 1.3 trillion. Debts to avoid sector's collapse. Elumelu tells federal government. Edo Guba, more trouble for LP as 2 ESCOs emerge. AGF orders to National Assembly. Change of anthem by legislative fiat can't work. Labour private sector operators bicker over minimum wage. Okay, story.
The AG again was addressing the House of Reps, who quickly did first reading, second reading, third reading, and even passed into law an amendment to change the anthem. And he's saying this is like legislative fiat. It's too, that's not the way to go about it. But I'm with the AG. I don't even think this is a priority right now. We'll just know how they'll go.
So the chairman of the Transnational Corporation, that's Transcorp, Mr. Tony Elumelu, has urged the federal government to quickly pay, as a matter of urgency, pay off the 1.3 trillion owed to power generating, that's GENCOs, in Nigeria to avert the collapse of the sector. He stated this at the Transcorp PLC annual general meeting in Abuja yesterday. Said GENCOs could no longer afford to continue to subsidize the power sector. He explained that Transcorp Power alone is owed about 250 billion naira for power supply to the national grid. He also urged the government to fully privatize the power sector by divesting its 40% stake in the 11 electricity distribution companies and the 100% stake in the transmission company. I mean, these are big asks, but I mean, it's also a hot topic. I think
we are owing them.
Yeah.
So it's not, when we ask you to pay what you are owing, it's not...
No, the big ask is like privatizing 40% of Nigeria's stake in these discos, and in transmission companies, 100% stake.
Create more liquidity.
So, yeah, so we'll see how that happens.
Please, I need to take Coastal Road, the Nigerian... The Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road is ongoing. The people are complaining about the compensation being a fraction of what their properties are worth. One person said that her business is worth 300 million and she had to pay off her workers. What she got as compensation was less than 15% the value of the property. And they've been told they should not talk to the press. So many of them talking to the press now is even a risk to them, that they said they should just collect the compensation and go. That somebody is and keep quiet, but that what they are getting is so small that they cannot even rebuild or even reacquire the property.
They should explore litigation. No. They should explore litigation.
Corruption has crept into the process of compensation.
They must get the
That's
value.
why the courts are there. Let's go on a break now. When we come back, we move on to our hot topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Yesterday was Children's Day, and the show was hosted by 8 amazing children from different schools. So it was really, really cool to watch these kids take over the show. We had Kibati, we had Sheung, we had Mojoyi.
We had Mojoyi additional.
Yes, we had quite a number of them yesterday.
Yes. So I love the take of the kids on corporal punishment.
Oh, yes. Some agreed, some disagreed. It was really pretty even.
Yes, there was a particular girl, trying to remember her name, who was very, very, very clear as to, not against corporal punishment and the extent teachers can take it. So because you can't really say how the teacher's business is coming into the corporal punishment, the teacher can have a bad day from home. Yes. And transfer it to the child.
It was brilliant.
Very brilliant. I really enjoyed it.
It's accepted in the house, but not in school, right?
Yes, yes. And so some of them supported their parents, allowing, as a corrective measure, but most of them did not allow
Let's watch the clip very quickly for those who missed it.
I think, even if we are not ready now, it's our responsibility to mold ourselves, to adapt to the future and mold Nigeria the way we want it to be. Because we are the future, we are leaders of tomorrow. It's our responsibility right now to form Nigeria. Yeah,
I agree with Naza. I think Nigeria might not be ready for our future, but it is our responsibility to be ready for the future of Nigeria and our own futures as well. So it's our responsibility to build ourselves to that state where we can create a better Nigeria.
Okay. I firmly believe that we the youth are ready for the Nigeria of tomorrow. We will go on a short break now. When we return, we move to another topic. Stay with us. Your view, we'll be right back.
I'm like, the future is the future is ready. Like, the future of your view is already very clear. The people that will take over, they are waiting that you people should go so that we can take over the show, because they took ownership. It just shows that the the ethos of the show, like what the show is trying to achieve, cuts across generation. You take it into pidgin, and people are still able to share their opinion. You bring the children in, and everybody has an opinion, and everybody is entitled to share their views. Everybody, whether they are old, they are young, or they don't speak English, or they are speaking pidgin. Everybody is entitled to have an opinion, and their opinions should be heard. And we mustn't suppress any voice. So I love the fact that people had their different opinions, and they backed their opinions with why they feel this is what it should be. And I reasoned with every one of them, and it was just interesting to see.
When we talked about somebody being abandoned on the island, one little boy said, "I like to be abandoned with my enemy. So if anything happens, if he dies, nothing happens to me. Because if it was my loved one, I'll be crying. But since it's my enemy, nothing will happen." The way they are reasoning.
Different.
Very, very different. It was really interesting. Waike, what do you think about the video?
No, I loved it. I watched it. I watched part of it live. So I'd even praised them to their faces. They did very well. In fact, I'm feeling that I shouldn't even be on the video anymore. It was so good.
We have to thank the school. If I can even get the list of the schools. I know there was Vivian, there was Queen's College, there was Methodist Girls High School, there was Supreme, there was Dansol, there was Honeyland, Pickley was there. Quite a number of schools. If I can get the list, unfortunately, I don't have the list with me here, but thank you to all the schools. They sent in all their kids. They gave auditions.
Yes, and
we love the parents.
I must acknowledge the interactive section. The kids who just have the mic did excellently well as well. Yes. So they should feel fine not even being on the panel, because they had strong opinion. Very, very interesting.
So we have to thank the parents. The parents actually showed up. I mean, some parents are really parenting.
They are extra.
Some parents are there, support. When the kids were introducing themselves, I'm a poet, I'm a writer, I'm a jeweler. But how? I'm making it come here. I'm like, they
brought them for rehearsals.
It really did well. Well done to the entire team. Yes. And thank you to the crew for putting everything together.
Well done.
I'm really grateful. It was a fantastic Children's Day, and we're so proud to watch the kids who are ready to take over the show going forward. Let's go to a very short break. When we come back, we'll talk about another hot topic, which is quite sad, but stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. A 200-level student of the Ajayi Crowther University in Oyo State, identified as Alex Timileyin, was allegedly beaten to death by a group of students for allegedly stealing a mobile phone. According to the report, the deceased was beaten from 6 p.m. to, I think it was 10 p.m. actually, to 10 a.m. in the morning on Saturday. He was also to have had his hair forcefully shaved off by the students. Now, this story went viral, caught a lot of parents by shock. Many people were really shocked to see the story. It was a very, very painful report to read, especially when most of us had experienced this happening many years ago with the Alufor. We've been speaking against jungle justice. We've been speaking against self-help. And this is so painful because there were pictures of even when he started school and he was there with his mother, you know, and this, we now found that there's also possibly a first cousin to a king in Warri. And these are all just emotions across Nigeria, really painful emotions at this time because of the death of this young boy. Now, what are your thoughts on the story and the happenings afterwards? You can call us on 081 0764 1679 090 241 63440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. I mean, I don't even know where to start because this was very, there's no two ways of looking at this. It's just a one-way street.
Yes.
This was awful. It was bad. It was horrific. And it's a painful thing to happen to anybody. Who would like to go?
The first question I want to ask is, you see, for you to do that kind of, or give that kind of beating to one person, there must have been noise. The university, they don't have security. They don't have people loitering around because there must have been a lot of noise. It couldn't have been done. You don't kill a person quietly like that unless you use a gun. Even the gun will make noise unless he has silence. How many guns in Nigeria?
To respond to you, Waiki, I didn't go to a Nigerian school, but I know people who have told me stories. When boys want to deal with you, they will deal with you where either they will take you to somewhere very, very secluded, nobody, because they know teachers will be roaming about. Those guys probably did that at 10 p.m. and I know that nobody's going to be around. There are different ways. And even jungle justice, sometimes they will pull you away to, in a way where security operatives cannot catch you. So there are different ways. When boys want to deal with something, I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying that if we want to be realistic, so these boys with these premeditated intentions, they always know how to go about it, such that teachers, parents, people won't be able to scream or get help. But that's on one end. But let me come to you, Nima.
I went to a Nigerian university at the time when cultism was at the height of it. I remember being in the gutter throughout a shooting in school by the roundabout in Lasu, lying flat on my stomach, colon jendele, that kind of mentality. If I make it home, I will not come to school tomorrow. But I graduated. And I have seen this kind of thing. So the only allegation here, the only thing that needs to be proved here is that the boy even stole the phone. I believe he was planted. It was a setup because I have seen that style of thing happening. I believe those boys are cultists trying to initiate an innocent boy who is not willing to join. It was tough those days, you know, trying to get somebody to say, leave me, I don't want to belong to anything. They will frame him up. Because I don't understand how 6 boys think it was okay beating a human being for hours. I used to see those kind of trying to say, oh, teach back then in school. They would drag the person from the end of school out to the other end of school because the security will say they are dealing with him for stealing. They will now be lax. Before they had to, you know, upgrade things in school. These things were a normal set of things. Now, Waike was talking about how is it possible that, you know, a boy was beaten and nobody turned, around to stop them. Because the security are usually part of them. The school cannot even wash their hands clean for me. What I have seen in this my young age, that school, whoever is the CSO of that school, the people who are patrolling school at night, because this school they stay, unlike last week we didn't have hostels, when school closes by night. This school has a 24-hour hostel system. Somebody should be on duty. Not only those 6 boys should be picked, somebody should be picked for negligence. If you don't do your duty, your job well, So you should be paying for it because you know you just failed someone. The school hostel is a big hostel that will house more than 7 boys at once. Other people heard this beating. And they didn't think it was time to report it.
Nima, I don't want us to paint the story in a way that suits our own thinking, because there are different ways narratives you can take. Okay, even if he stole a phone, because that's the report we're having, it would be nice to assume he didn't. But even if he did, he didn't deserve that kind of beating, number one. Number two, I hear I've been to University of Ife, and I know how big that university is. And I know how they can drag somebody in the bush and beat, and nobody will patrol anywhere. There's no way you can patrol everywhere of a university. It's not a secondary school that our teachers will be passing about. This is a university. So we can look at it from different angles. But I hear you, we have a point, but there are other ways of looking at it. But let me come to you, talk about your thoughts.
We also have a culture of looking away. We have a culture of, I don't want to put my mouth inside. It's not my business. We have a culture of, I don't want to choke my head and then they will now hit my own head with the stick. So that culture of looking away could have played out in this situation where people heard and people are just, I don't want to be, it's not my business. I don't want to get involved. And until we start getting more, until everybody starts taking ownership and getting involved, this boy could have been beaten but not have died if a few people decided to do bebonu and get involved. You will hear a noise and you will look away like, I don't want, it's not my story. I don't want
have been screaming.
Yes, obviously, for someone to die from beating, he would have screamed at some point. Somebody would have heard and just turned away. And those that turn away are as guilty as those who killed, because your speaking up could have saved a life. Onlookers, the videos that showed up, somebody recorded, pictures that somebody recorded, everybody that saw what happened there. I know that the police are going to do their investigation. Those boys will be charged to courts as, is it accessory to murder or even that they carried out murder? Because it wasn't their actions led to his death. But beyond that is the fact that for a group of boys to beat up one boy over a stolen phone, those group of boys already displayed ability to beat, ability to be vengeful. They would have this. It doesn't just happen one day. These boys, they would have seen traits in those boys. You know boys that when you see them, everybody respect themselves around him, but we don't talk about it. We don't deal with the issue.
Thank you very much. That's probably what led to the fact that they choose to look away. Because these boys are very notorious for this behavior. I don't want them to say it was me that went to go and rat them out.
But you call now, you report it now. There must be a system.
That's why I said they are just as guilty.
Where you can report it. Now, what we are missing here is the accusation. So once somebody says, Naim thief that thing, or it happens in the marketplace, you just point at somebody, he stole pennies, he stole something. And just say, he committed a crime. Whatever he see, he deserves.
Can you remember that woman that they beat? They said she stole his penis. Can you remember the woman, one old woman?
Yes.
It happened to my welder about 2 weeks ago. He was he was in Agege or somewhere like that, and the guy just held him. You have taken my thing. You have held his own thing. You have taken my thing. You have taken my thing. Before he knew it, they had carried his phone. He said he was just thanking his God that they didn't kill him.
All right, let me. I'm told that we might have to be breaking up very soon. So I'd like to inform our audience that very soon we will be breaking away from our regular programming to go to Gusau, Zamfara State for the live broadcast of the inauguration of the UBA Junction Freedom Square Township Road by Governor Dauda Lawal. Our regular programs continue on UK channels on Sky 534, while our viewers in Nigeria watching TVC News can continue watching Your View on our YouTube channel at TVC News Nigeria. For our terrestrial viewers, remain on GOTV channel 16 and StarTimes channel 121. Okay, so continue, YK, you're saying.
So you see, when he was telling me the story, I was like, this is how they set people up.
All the time.
This is how they set people up. And it's either they want to steal or they have they have a vengeful, who has escaped me, this person offended me, let me, we have to stop that jungle justice. We have to stop it.
We must get, let's talk about the police, because sometimes it will be easy for you to take somebody to the police and report the situation. But when you take somebody to the police, if I catch somebody with my phone, the right action is to take the person to the police and say, oh, I caught this person stealing and all of that. You would expect there will be a proper, like the process will be seamless, but you that you took the person to the police might end up getting in trouble. Or the person that, you now say, I'm not doing the case again, it now turns into something bigger than it is. I have a situation at hand that they've arrested a boy, and we are right now struggling. Like everybody has said, we're not doing the case again. The police said he's in prison. The prison said they don't have fuel. He did not enter the bus. They've still been in custody since. They did not steal. They were just caught. They were beaten black and blue. They were taken to the police station. There was no case written on them. They spent 1 month in prison, and they have not gotten to court once to hear their case. Like, they keep posting and posting. 1 month in prison. The person that took them to police said, we've caught the people. These people are not involved. Oh, yeah, they say we cannot release them anymore until they go to court. Oh, yeah, bring them to court. They have not brought them to court. They've missed 2 appointments in court because of one excuse or the other. So, the person
police are saying they cannot release
the prison people said the bus was full the first day. The second time, they said there was no way to carry them. So they did not get to court twice. So you are seeing some small things that will make you say, following, if these people are actually guilty, you feel like they can escape after 5-6 years.
You won't get justice.
Because justice system, even for someone like innocent, it does not happen. For guilty person, it does not happen. So when you follow the rule of law, it is frustrating for those involved. So why would you want to voluntarily go to the position and say,
there's no perfect justice system anywhere in the world. If there was, you will not see people doing 39 years in prison only to find out that there was really no rape that happened. Blacks in America. In the UK, you find out, there's no perfect justice system in the world, but the justice system that you have is still better than, this one that you take laws into your hands. I don't believe that, every of the mob action we see are truly proven cases of criminality. Anybody can accuse anybody. I cannot like YK hair now. Your hair is fuller than my own. And I will start to accuse you.
Let me take this call. Yakub has been holding for a while. Good morning, Yakub. Sorry for keeping you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
For me, the question is this. Moran, you mentioned the University of Ife with their landmarks. The question is, what was landmarks of Ajayi Crowther University?
You don't know.
Because I stand to be corrected. This is a private university. Yes. But for me, I don't believe this guy is stealing anything. Because they were trying to imitate this guy. Maybe the guy was not agree with them. And then they resorted been beating him up to the point of death. So, Morayo, the question now again is this. When these people now, they were already arrested, I'm very sure your few will be due diligent and follow this case up. Are you getting me? I don't know if you are hearing me.
Very clearly.
You need to follow this case up because we only had this kind of a thing. At the end of the day, we don't know how the case ends. You get it? So these people must be brought to book. And then, Sister Yeni, your brotherhood that you mentioned, I can tell you for the fact, this is another style in, what is it called, Pen Cinema style. They did that to rob your brother. It's not because they want to do anything. They don't do it because it's a group of people. If you go to Pen Cinema today, very close to that bridge, they will just close to you. One person will just come from nowhere. Drive you, say, you don't take my tea. Before you know, all things that in your body, they will take it away from you. At the end of the day, you will not tell anybody again. That's another side there. Thank you. Good morning.
You see, we have to see. Well, I wanted to go back to what Tokwe said earlier because it's really, I agree, Nima, that our justice system cannot be perfect. But we must really be true to ourselves, where we are as a nation. That can we at this moment wait for this system to do right by Nigerians? Because we were taking in the paper review where somebody in the Benin Kingdom was went to the same court to get justice because he felt maybe he was wronged or maybe he didn't agree with what happened in the system in their own internal system with the chiefs and with the Obaship. And then he went to court. And then he was accused. Why would you go to the court? That he was an abomination. He says for you to do that. But the truth is that sometimes people feel the need. Should we then have ways where we can administer justice aside from the courts? Is there a way that we can do it such that people get justice? Because where we are right now, we have so many Nigerians, so many citizens, we cannot accommodate all the problems that is brought to the courts in good timing. So maybe we should start finding other measures, other ways of resolving some of these issues so that people feel that, yes, when I bring an issue to the system, it is resolved.
It has to be the system or nothing for me. So there are traditional matters. Matters of royalty, what happens within the palace, the kingdom, leave to Oba. But when we come to who steal phone, who steal money, what happened, what?
In the olden days, it still goes to the Oba.
It shouldn't go to the Oba anymore because we have a constitution. If the Oba were to decide on a matter, can he decide the life or death of a person over such matter? He cannot now. Because that person has to go somewhere where he is properly heard. The principle of natural justice is that a person is heard no matter what. Just last Saturday, one of my staff came home and said she was defrauded of 25,000. How come? What happened? The story just didn't add up. It felt like she just, arranged something and gave my money out. What I simply did, I couldn't, because of schedule, get to the place to see the cameras. So I waited till this Saturday and went with my husband, begging him, let's just go and view what happened. And when we saw what happened, we saw where she played. That extent to see whether or not our allegation is true, even though what she had said initially sounded like she stole. You exhaust all those possibilities before you can fully say this is what you're doing. To carry out any form of vengeance by yourself or no. To mete out any kind of remedy by yourself can be an injustice in any way to that person. Imagine these 6 boys. Which authority in a school, that means they themselves have not even, they didn't fill a form. There's an anti-cult form you must fill in my own university where I went before you are given admission. As you are paying your acceptance fee, you are filling the anti-cult form. You will take it to court, to a court to get a notary on it. If you come back and something happens within that school, it means that those students didn't fill that form. They don't know that there's a school administration. They don't know they have a dean of student affairs. If there was a stealing and anybody can even prove it, all of you gather to student affairs and go and say what happened.
Exactly.
How come all of you lock your doors, lock up your schoolmates, a 200 level adult? You start to beat them now, Nabonam. As in how?
So I hear.
I don't believe in the death sentence, but in this situation,
all of them.
It's really honestly, sad. For me, I feel that
they should face what they letted out.
There are different scenarios here. There is a case of, it might be a cultist case. Maybe they are trying to initiate him and he did not agree. That's why they set him up.
Make an example of him to other people.
It might also be a case of, he actually stole a phone. Who are now these people that are supposed to mete out justice and then the justice went out of hand? Or it might be a case of they set him up just because of something that has nothing to do with cultists. Whichever scenario happens within the situation, my heart goes out to the family, because when I was in Asaba, I met a lady who was recounting how she lost, why she's so ambitious and why she feels she needs to keep on teaching and educating people and because she lost her younger brother who was lynched. He said her younger brother was trying to put food on the table. Like, a younger brother was trying to put food on the table because they were really, really poor and rolled with the wrong crowd. Just as a way of, let's be hustling. But they don't know they were going to steal. So he found out that they stole. And because he was guilty and he knew the person they stole for, he took what they stole and took it back to the woman. And the woman shouted, ole, ole, ole. The boy took it back, and the next thing, they beat him up, put tire and burnt him. And she saw it happen. And these things happen. Now, this is me recounting a story of someone who saw a younger brother being burned to death. And jungle justice, we've said on this show several times, does not solve any long-term problem. It might make us feel like we have done something, but for everybody that is carrying out jungle justice, a part of you, the human part of you, lives. So these children need to be dealt with.
So it's so sad that parents sent children to school, and then you killed one, and all of them have been affected, because all I don't know, 6 or 5, I saw 5, but you said 6 of them. All of them have been affected. Totally put a halt. In that moment, that's your 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Beating up that child, killing that child. All of you have just subjected your life to a totally different trajectory for in the next few years. And it's so painful for parents to even see that happening. And it's a private university you think would be somewhat safer. than public universities, but this is the case really sad. Unfortunately, we have to wrap up on this.
I think we should use it to speak to, if they call you children, if they call you to join court and you don't want, go and report quickly.
Quickly, oh. Go to your
Or tell your parents so they remove you from that university.
Yes,
it's true. Don't
go back to school. Then we as parents that were raising our kids, can we start telling our kids, any group of evil-minded kids, know how to excuse yourself? Don't be a part of it. You know, how do these 6 complete themselves? They came from some parents' homes. 2, 3 children will be playing. You would have kicked one, that maybe one bumped into one, that one is down. The other kids will continue playing. Why don't you people stop and, lift the other one? Yeah. How did 6 of them from different homes conspire to carry out this kind of evil? Which kind of upbringing did they have?
They should even go and call the parents of the 6 boys. But how did you bring up these children? How did you bring up these children? Because, you know,
they're adults.
In our house, my brother is bringing up young teenagers, and I know how he's stressing. Because 2 are boys. You know, one is a guy, and I know the kind of... So where are you? Where are these parents?
You know, when kids go into the university, they always think they're adults. They think they can make their own decisions. Nobody can really tell them what to do. And even the teachers become their parties sometimes. You know, you just talk to your professors anyhow. So we really need to come back to the drawing board on how these kids are raised. How much independence do you really give a child? How much independence do you have? How much decisions, or what kind of decisions can he make on his own? You know. So even though I was in university, but I had my brother who was constantly always checking up on me, making sure that everything is okay. So I had a check. But some of these guys feel that they answer to nobody. They're big boys. They answer to nobody. So we really need to check these things in universities. And also, there's something that Tokwe said that I wanted to go back to. This issue of ensuring justice is served. Even in our homes, when you have 3, 4 children, and one says, "Mommy, John slapped me. Sorry. And now say, Cynthia beats me. You don't do anything about it. After what, they start beating each other. You don't address it. So it happens when all of us, when we see a problem, let's have a concluded ending to the situation in every situation. Because when you don't do that, kids begin to believe that it's okay for me to take matters into my own hands, and they grow up with that look. I'll slap your face, I'll beat you, and they keep doing it to themselves. So it goes back to what happened in the university here.
Emirate is always beating his sister. We call him. So should I beat you like you are beating your sister? You stop it. You stop it immediately. Punish the child. Spare the rod and spoil the child.
Unfortunately, that's all we can take on this. But really, really, our heart goes out to this young man, Alex.
He's the only son of his mom, according to what I read on Twitter. Only son of his mom. I think only child. Some wrote the report.
Devastated.
So you see, she took him to school. There are pictures of both of them. It's just so sad. It's not. This is not a. It's not a conversation. It's just so sad.
It's just painful. And I don't know if you can confirm he's a prince, but also to the entire royal family.
It was said, Ajayi made a video confirming that he's a prince of the kingdom. He's a cousin to the present Ogame of Ishekiri land. And they are also threatening that if justice is not served, everything will go down.
All right, that is all we can take on this segment. May our hearts definitely go out to the family, and may his soul rest in peace. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, move on to our next segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Earlier in the month, we took a story of a man who accused a private hospital in Lagos State for alleged negligence and failure to provide adequate care, which reportedly led to the death of his wife, Loveth, and their son. Join us now to give us an update of what has happened since then is the husband himself of the deceased, Prince Tega. Welcome to the show. It's good to have you back here.
Thank you.
So we've been quite concerned about this case to see what's happening and how far you've gone. So we just thought, just keep to our word that we're following up with you. Just give us an update on what's going on so far.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. You don't know how grateful I am since the last interview I did. In fact, we had over 6 million views. I've had calls from Nigeria, from outside the country on this case. So many people are interested in this case.
Okay.
The mandate is to get justice, So I've gotten counsels from some are in Lagos, some are also in Abuja.
Okay.
They will also have an NGO on the case too. So we've gotten good legal representative on the case.
Okay.
Then my lawyers have instituted a coroner inquest. So at 23rd of Thursday, 23rd last week, we had the first preliminary meeting with His Honor Magistrate Ade Tunji. So at the meeting, the preliminary facts were laid before. My counsels were there, but the hospital, Arujula, refused to be represented. Okay. And also, we've also taken further steps to write to the Medical and Dental Council for them to investigate the case and set up a tribunal on the issue. Also, we've also written to the Nursing and Midwifery Council too. We've also petitioned them. And more disturbing is the issue of missing body parts.
Yeah, I was wondering, what was that about? I know you mentioned it, but...
Yeah. And we saw that you sent a mail, and the reply doesn't seem like they are ready to give...
Help me understand, for those who don't understand what missing body parts... So, are you saying the remains of your loved ones have not been sent over to you? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Those who don't understand, yeah.
Okay. She had the caricature surgery.
Okay.
So after before surgery, before she died, the doctor said she wants to remove the womb, and that was his last option to save her, which proved abortive. So ideally, that womb should be given to me, either on that day or probably because of emotions, if we couldn't present it the next day, that, oh, this is what we removed from surgery. Okay, should we send it to the lab for further histology and examination, or do you want to just bury it? But to date, neither the uterus or the placenta, I didn't even see it. So body parts are missing. So on the 22nd of April, I petitioned the Deputy Commissioner of Police at Pantiyaba. It took over 3 weeks when we saw that they were not doing anything about it. In fact, when I incident the report, a week after, they called Arujula team to also incident the report. I was shocked. The Deputy Commissioner of Police stateside, he was asking me that what evidence do I have to prove that the hospital did not give me the missing uterus and the placenta. As if the onus is on me to produce evidence when the hospital is lying that they gave me this organ. So with my counsel, we took a further step by petitioning the Inspector General of Police on the issue. So we are hoping that he would investigate and ensure the issue arrest and ensure that the organs are recovered.
I'm actually very surprised. Maybe Nima would provide a bit of legal clarity on this, that a petitioner would issue a case and an inquest would initiate proceedings and the other party would not show up. And because I know that usually, is it because this is not a case of state? Maybe because it's not a case of state. Why would the hospital not show up?
Not at this point. They might have for whatever reason, be absent on that day.
Okay.
But they cannot be absent the entire inquiry period. So they will at some point show up. So I cannot explain whatever emergencies they might have had, that made them absent.
The one, sorry, Muriah, the one that's making me curious is they are saying he has to prove that the hospital didn't give him the body parts. How is he? Because in this case,
he's the one that went to court. He shouldn't be the one to prove now. It's the opposition.
You petitioned the...
because they're making it his word against theirs.
Yes, that the uterus is missing.
So maybe they also petitioned the counter petition.
He said they did it 1 week after. Maybe that's what he said.
So in inquiry, these questions would fly. you know, maybe if they counter petition, they would inquire certain things of you while they're still investigating.
If I may ask, where's the remains of your wife right now?
Okay, so we were able to get an autopsy done on Thursday, 23rd. So the lawsuit pathologist arranged for an autopsy. They also invited the hospital, which they declined. So we are awaiting the report. So the coroner inquest said they are going to expedite the results.
So you have access to her remains and you know that the uterus is missing. That much we know.
Yeah,
you know from the procedure.
And from their medical reports, the doctor said they did hysterectomy, meaning he removed the womb.
So just asking a stupid question or, a layman's question, why is it so important to you for that? I mean, just to know, why is it important to you to have the uterus?
It's extremely important because the pathologist ought to examine it because the issue beforehand is ruptured uterus.
Thank you.
They over-induced her that the womb busted. So that womb has to be examined. So I don't know if it's...
That's your case. That's pretty much your case.
Yes. So it's either a deliberate attempt to obscure the autopsy report or it's a case of probably organ harvesting or organ trafficking.
So in your interaction with the hospital, what means modes? Is it by phone call, WhatsApp, email? And have you ever received any reply from them?
Yes, I did. I texted them, I mailed them on the issue. This is the response I got. Let me even...
They forwarded it.
Yes, this is the response I got.
Yeah,
you see the strong heading, the strong...
Refusal to return my late wife's uterus, that's the heading, and my late son's placenta. So they ask, replying, Dear Prince, thank you for reaching out to our Jolad care team. This is to acknowledge the receipt of your mail. This has been forwarded to the management for immediate review. Kindly exercise patience. We will revert back to you soon. So, till now?
So we're waiting.
Now, this is over 2 months or so.
Oh, wow.
This is all you've heard from them?
This is all I've heard from them.
I didn't think that cases like this usually drag like this. I usually feel, what would you feel has made the process so slow? Is it because you didn't have access to legal representation early enough, immediately after it happened? And do you think the delay in you issuing a formal prosecution would affect your ability to get justice?
No. Initially, we thought, okay, they will recognize that, they were negligent because of the obvious, what is obvious before, that they would do the needful, or tender an apology, show some remorse. But when they were being defensive, that the death is natural, that it's as if they are saying she was expected to die. But that's the implication when you say you provided standard medical care or best of care, and both mother and baby are in the morgue. So how do we juxtapose what you're saying and what happened?
Can I ask this question? What happened to the baby? His body?
Yeah, I've buried my son.
You're not going to do a pathology report on him?
No, just
I think that was straightforward. It was basically...
Suffocation?
Yes, asphyxiation. So all the while she was breathless and she was bleeding. Oxygen wasn't getting to the baby. So baby died before surgery.
Okay, so I remember when you came the last time, you explained in detail how this the case happened, that there wasn't a consultant, so that because some people that were not here that time, what the negligence that took place from the part of the hospital included the fact that there wasn't a consultant on ground. How many hours did you say your wife had?
Over 2 hours. She was
2 hours
gasping.
of gasping for air, and then you said she was induced that many times.
She was induced 3 times. First one with tablet failed, second failed. First was 12 a.m., second was 5 a.m., then the third was around 8 a.m. also.
And all of them
over
failed.
10 hours failed. So at the failure of the second one, a reasonable setup, a reasonable consultant should suggest a cesarean section.
So I've asked you this question before, the last time you came. I think I'd like to just to get clarity again. What is justice to you? What exactly are you hoping to achieve? What would you like for this hospital, Arjola, to say or to do?
Okay. For the MDCN, I want them to revoke the licenses of this medical personnel involved in this case.
Okay.
If found culpable.
Okay.
Then for the Nursing and Midwifery Council, the midwife obviously, when my wife passed out, she was shouting, "Love her, don't do this to us." You can imagine. To tell you how grossly incompetent she is. Then the surgeon was nowhere to be found. How do you induce a patient in labor and you are somewhere else with no plans of even coming? So even though for the emergency situation, he wouldn't have come. So then for the missing organs, they have to produce them. The play is just too expensive. They have to produce the placenta and the organ, or they should face the wrath of the law.
It's an obstruction of justice
yes.
itself to hold on to the
exactly.
the major investigative
the evidence.
The evidence, the only thing that can be investigated.
Exactly.
What if it's been discarded? What happens?
Then they are culpable. The onus falls back to them to explain.
But if they release it now, is it still in a condition whereby you can still get any...
Except they have altered it. So why are they still in possession of it?
No, it's a hospital, so they have it rests on them to preserve those tissues. They have all means to preserve it. Tissues can be preserved for years. So they shouldn't come up with story that it's rotten or it's missing. It's not acceptable in this case.
What if they have a histology that they did post the procedure and they have that report ready? Can that console?
No, they are not saying to the fact. In fact, from the Punch newspaper, I saw one article that they said they neatly wrapped it and give it to them. Who's them? I don't know.
Because if you receive it, you're supposed to sign.
Of course. There should be evidence that you can't take someone's organ and just...
Even if they say they provided a histology or whatever, he would have had to have somebody representing him there. They can't just do it without his knowledge.
Exactly. I've been the one feeling for...
I should even see them first, confirm. They should confirm to me, oh, these organs belong to my wife. This is what they removed from surgery. So it's now the option of, should we send it for further examination?
So we know you wrote to the Inspector General of Police. Has he responded?
No, they promised to give it due attention. We've not seen a response. It's over a week now that we petitioned the IG.
Let us know how it goes.
You know, and this kind of matter makes me really sad because he's pressuring because he wants justice. If the hospital had admitted their culpability at the beginning, all this would not have.
We'll be honest, they're even prolonging the grief.
Would have happened. Now, because he's not a millionaire or billionaire in Nigeria, doesn't know people, you know, and that's why I'm so interested in this case, because where is the justice for the small person in Nigeria?
Yeah. It's worrisome. A lot of the messages on YouTube reflects that question as well.
What I would like to do, I mean, someone was saying that you should bring in an independent consultant to look at what the victim is saying so that our viewers can, and the general public can have a clearer picture of the situation, because sometimes we've heard you, but it would be great for maybe to have a consultant who can even explain in the medical terms what exactly happened. Because some people need a picture of why it's important that they get this placenta and uterus provided for you, because that's practically your case. That's the evidence to show the negligence of the consultant or the doctor that was in charge. So it's important for us to...
There's also...
Even placenta is the evidence that delivery took place.
Yes, yes.
So how do you not give it? Not give the family.
There's also an importance of this uterus, because this woman, according to the hospital, died naturally due to childbirth. What exactly happened? My hospital, my family hospital, once had a family friend who died there. And the family wasn't demanding any autopsy or anything. But the circumstance, it was the first time I heard about pulmonary heart, something where you have clots, blood clots in the lungs and causing death.
Pulmonary embolism.
The embolism. The hospital had insisted that they must understand, because they thought he had a cardiac issue. They must understand how this family friend of ours died. And they, on their own, did an autopsy, sent body parts to South Africa, and got a report where they had to explain, only for the family to find out that they are genetically disposed to this illness. It's not even due to, you know, so hospitals should be able to go the entire hour for a due diligence. You know, it's important. Not without any accusation.
In this case, Nima, because I'm reading the report from The Nation this morning, and Arujula is saying that they specific, according to them, in response to Mr. Tega, they said our medical team followed the standard protocols during the delivery process, and the records confirm that all necessary steps expected were taken to ensure the safety of both the mother and the baby during the delivery at the hospital. The hospital also denied not releasing the placenta and ruptured uterus, saying it's handed it over to Mr. Tega. So if the hospital is saying I handed it over and I followed due process, so for them they feel they've done their own part and they have no case to answer. That's what, based on this report I'm reading by The Nation.
Which is why it's important that it's investigated.
So that's why he
there are
needs
standard procedures.
He has the burden of proof on him now. He has to be able to
he doesn't. He's alleging. He should take them to court. They should come and show the court what they did to hand over. So if you're saying there's standard procedure to handing over, all of us have gone through hospital at one point or the other, even had a surgery or a procedure.
He's the one that has to prove that they were negligent.
To give it to him, you have a form that he must fill to receive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even for I approved an histology, you must sign to approve any procedure that is done on you. So they who are saying they did should show proof that they did.
It's even shocking.
It's not just write it.
The day we received the corpse, none of the medical team was around. It was their gates men that handed over the body. So by then I've collected the death certificate. So I used that to transport her to the morgue. But we were not present. No nurse, no doctor, nobody.
Did they give you an ambulance?
And that was the next day.
To take the body?
No, I made that payment myself. No remorse, no sympathy, no medical staff on board.
A human being.
So how you are now saying you gave me something? If you give me something, I should have. Now we've done autopsy. I should have provided the uterus to the pathologist to examine along
at the same time.
Yes. Why would I keep it if you give me? What was the evidence that you? So I just suspect foul play of, I don't know, I just suspect that this hospital is beyond what we are saying. But even the cause of death is so suspicious. How do you induce to the point that the patient goes unconscious, and why in our conscious state, there is no surgical team on board? Even there were no basic equipment to even monitor the mother and the baby to prevent the complication of
let me go on a very short
massive
break.
bleeding.
When we come back, we'll take a few calls and some comments on social media. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Let's take a few comments on social media and see, get our viewers involved in this conversation. Do you have anyone, Nima?
Not putting yet, internet.
Okay.
So, Josephine says they need to shut it down pending resolution of the case. That's talking about the hospital.
Pause. This everything happens, shut it down. The guys, we need to stop doing this thing. Something happens in the school, you shut it down because, something happens, that child or a situation needs to be addressed. But there are hundreds of other students who are innocent and who deserve to be removed from school because something happened. Same thing with the hospitals. Something happens, absolutely. They need to investigate it, but there are hundreds of other people whose lives are dependent on that hospital being run at the time. So let's not this mentality of every small thing happens, shut it down. No, it doesn't happen that way. We must investigate a situation because my mother could be sick and ready to see the hospital, and you're telling me you have to shut down because something happened. Things happen every day, and people go to schools abroad. They'll shut down. The child is skilled in the school. Doesn't mean they'll shut down the school.
Any substandard health provider that has caused death should be shut down.
It could also be
pending
because investigation. Of justice, Nima. Yes. You know what we're saying about the justice
pending
system?
investigation.
No, even you mentioned it.
This is not a school.
when we look at justice system and we see how slow the justice and the wheel of justice seems to be moving.
That's why the idea of shutting down comes.
If it was that in Nigeria, once something like this happens, you will see immediate investigation. They will say they suspend the license of the doctors involved. Yes. Something happens. If we see action, we will not say shut down. Exactly. But when we don't see anything, there will be counts for shut down.
So that's what I'm saying. So I agree with you. So it has to work together. So our justice system must be functional so that people can trust that it will work. Yes. Because we cannot keep shutting down things just because of one.
Our justice system must be functional. I agree that our justice system must be functional. But when we prioritize life, health is not something that you will shut down. If I build a shop today and I'm providing medicine there, and it is suspected that my medicine can take a life, it's, as a government, the first thing is to shut my establishment down, pending when I clarify myself. If I am a food provider, I cook for people to eat every day, and it is alleged that I have poison in my establishment, the first thing as a health check, as a body of government, is to shut down and investigate if I have rodents or I'm mixing something in the food that I'm serving people. When it comes to health and life.
I've been in the hospital for different reasons. I have been in the hospital for different reasons. I could be in the hospital today, and something happens, God forbid something happens, and they say, oh, we're shutting down the hospital, Nima, go home. Because we're shutting it down. Right now, we have to address the situation. Listen, it's always easier said than done until it happens to us. I can be in the hospital in critical condition and you say, shutting it down because of something happens. So things would happen. My point is that let us stop always this generalization that something happens and we shut down the whole system. It doesn't work that way.
Life is... Mariah, you see, the difference between... I agree with you about the schools. I don't believe they should keep shutting down schools when something happens in the school. They should investigate. But you see with hospitals, because I remember when he came 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, the comments in YouTube, everybody was saying, this is Al Jolad, this is Al Jolad. That means the hospital is notorious already.
Yeah. It was on social media, that's probably why. It was on social media, that's why they were saying it, because it was obvious on social media.
People were telling their stories. This one said, I took a sister there, something happened, I took my wife. I was reading many stories that day. So, the hospital already has a reputation. When you have a reputation and it involves lives of people, because even the people that are still there means that they too go.
They are at risk. And some people, some people also go there and they have their children there. Some people go there and they get healed. Let's see. I agree with you. But the truth is that there are doctors, competent doctors that work and saves lives. That person's life is also just as important as the person who probably lost their lives too. So I'm saying that let us be fair. I agree that when something bad happens, we should consider it. But there are some people's lives whose lives are being saved just because of the same hospital.
Question that, I might just want to go there for health care. Let's just imagine that, I heard that a woman died having a child there. And then I go there and such a thing were to happen. I would blame the system and say, oh, nobody told me. If only I had heard it, I would have avoided this hospital.
I get that.
So that is why government, as a check, you must regulate. Every capitalist wants to make profits. That hospital is a capitalist. All they do there...
Which hospital has nobody died? What are you talking about, Nima?
No, Murayo.
Which hospital
the circumstance of this death
has there not been negligence? Nima, which hospital in this world has there not been negligence?
I will avoid it.
Anywhere in the world.
You will avoid it. You will check them. You make sure that they...
but you can't say...
No, you must shut down.
No, I don't agree. Shutting down.
How do you then check?
Shut down does not mean justice.
At all.
Shut down can mean the death.
Injustice to somebody else when you shut down.
Because that might be the only place they know and they're not aware it has shut down. However, justice must be served.
Absolutely.
In other countries, everywhere it happens. So it's only in Nigeria that we have not had strong cases. And I'm waiting for NMA and what's that other body? We need to have a stronger internal discipline system that would ensure that when a person is culpable, we've seen fake doctors put certificates up. We have seen cases where carrying out surgery, doing organ transfer. So we must see stronger deterrent within the organization, as well as that's when we would now trust the system to say there's no need to shut down because the system self-corrects itself. As it is right now, we would look at it and say, please close it down so that people will shake, because if you shut down, economic activities are closed. Everybody will stand
up. They will stand up. And all this one that they are sending letter,
newspaper. Doing newspaper.
It's because your own sister is not in the hospital trying to deliver a baby. It's because you don't have it. No, it's because you don't have family that is there.
Will not even be
don't say that, Nim. I don't like that.
I'm telling you, you can't have such a record and
it's easy for you to say that.
Remember there.
It's easy because the truth. I mean,
that branch should be shut down.
Because that branch does not have...
Let me
see the Just case. We had a case in Just. Let's explain.
Let me take this call.
The case in Just.
One second.
Take your call.
Let me take this call from Ibrahim. I'll come back to you. Good morning, Ibrahim.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Good morning. Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Don't let me waste your time. I just want to give my own evidence concerning Ajayi. In 2019, my husband and I, we went to the hospital to do our normal routine. So then he was coughing. What this cough? He didn't stop. So we had to go back. What's happening? So we had to do gene expert test. So he was supposed to come for the report during the week. So he had to go there for the hospital. That day when he got home, I was like, what is wrong with me? He just gave me a paper. Then I looked through the paper. I saw a part there for him, HIV, hospital. I was shocked. So I was like, what's this? This is not possible. That day, I panicked to the extent that my blender, my new blender, I threw it on the floor. Everything outside. I was like, no. We'll go back there, see a doctor, and do this HIV test again. Even the doctor was on home, didn't know what we had in hand. But like, that's true. Like, you play that. We went to the lab. That one he called him aside. You play outside, this is that. Going back outside, we realized that the test was negative. It was HIV negative. We had just one child then.
No, she's talking about her personal experience in the same hospital and about she feels there was negligence. So
I was going to explain a Just example. So the doctor was alleging Just of having carried out multiple surgeries for people while in the disguise and harvesting their organs in Just.
And it was very cheap.
But it was the only hospital in that area. What would government do? Leave it open because it's the only hospital in that area? No.
And people were dying. People were dying. People now went independently. I see this thing. Since I removed my appendix, they will do investigation. Kidney has been removed. The guy was known to be taking people's kidneys.
So you're right. In that situation, obviously, there's a situation. Yeah. But this is a hospital. A reputable hospital for years. I know the hospital. I don't know.
The one we in Just was reputable.
Not that.
He had his documents. He was even a licensed doctor. He was even a licensed doctor.
The point I'm trying to make is, where one side fits to one person, faces another way to another person. Because it's one thing. No, it's not about perspective. It's about reality. Because we've all had situations where we are in hospitals, where we are hanging on to our lives. I have loved ones who are in the hospital, and somebody says, oh, something happened here, there's a case of negligence, they're shutting down the whole hospital, everybody go home. Then what happens to my own loved one?
When strike happens,
what happens to my own mother? What happens to my own father in the hospital? Why do we like to look at things through one lens and stick to that lens? No. The point is that we have all agreed that when it happens...
Before a hospital is shut, there are procedures now.
So he's not even advocating for shutdown. Let's leave him to take things.
So going back because of time, let's go back to...
Ogumola Emmanuel says, this is a failure of our health authority overall. When processes are digitized, logs of care provided should reflect the care given to his wife. All care centers should have a system linked to the health authority.
Ogunbodede Isaac says the hospital should be shut down. That hospital isn't the only one. What gives us the assurance that the hospital won't do that to another person? We're talking about a man that lost a wife and a son as well. Oluwa says so many hospitals are doing this. A lot of this happened due to negligence. All they care about is deposit. I experienced it. Only God brought me home alive. They experiment with patients' lives just to have money. You can't allow health system run on capitalist mentality. Says,
if this man is ignorant, so matter for clothes. They will sweep it under the carpet and carry on business as usual.
Kolawole says...
It's important to clarify that we are all on this table agreeing that justice must be served. Just that the different kinds of justices are being discussed here. Some say shut down the whole thing. Others are saying justice such that that issue is identified, removed, and investigated, so that the role of the hospital in that community It's not diminished because of one situation. Because
so post-investigation, the consequence, if it is to shut down the system, that's establishment.
So if we have data to show that 90% or 80% or even 50% or whatever
is recurring.
It's recurring. Absolutely, we can get that, but not in individual cases, because the same way somebody can criticize a hospital, others will swear by it that all my children were born there, all my parents went there.
Here now that I get the not shutting down argument, because our Jolad might be expensive, but they helped save my mom's life in early March.
Exactly.
However, let me just quickly throw this in, because I know we don't have time. In this particular case of Prince Tega, the hospital, the branch where he was in, didn't have the basic facilities to take care of his wife with the condition she was in. And some other woman might go in there pregnant and they will still face the same thing. So we can then say we are downgrading this particular branch to just be for basic health care. Clinic. While anything delivery will be taken to the main office. That is justice. That will mean that
that's partial shutting down, because that unit was not functional. That's why your wife died.
They will upgrade the facility before it can be approved.
Equipment. So now we're talking in different ways, but the idea is to get
find a solution that does not hurt the environment but still brings justice.
We have to be wrapping up. So let's take a few comments on social media. But what now? So right now we're waiting to hear from the Inspector General of Police to see what they can do to support you. But we're waiting to hear from our Jolad also to respond to your mail that you sent to them a few months ago. Although the report I read of them from The Nation is saying that they don't record any form of negligence on their part, and they feel that they've given it to you. Or the body part was handed over to you. That's what they're saying.
This is suspected homicide. At best, it's not a matter of your word against me.
Yes.
It's not email. It's not what the police should investigate.
Yes. Okay. So now we're waiting for. So it's really the Inspector General of Police to tell us what the next steps will be concerning this.
The place is saying there's a need for total overhaul of our health sector. Another person, Emmanuel Ogmola, says, my own is that have money been actively involved in the care you seek or purchase for the loved ones you have? He said, if the place said, if so many people are complaining about the hospital, then there should be investigation.
Yes. Wolfie says in Nigeria, we should not shut down the hospital. But in America, cases that are not up to this extent get shut down. It's a two-way thing. Those involved should be interrogated. All hospitals, including general hospitals, are guilty of this, no cap.
Okay, I think that's all we can say, but let me just give you the final time to just say final words on this matter.
So my legal counsel, we are preparing to head to court to seek legal redress, because this, my wife and my son must get justice.
Absolutely.
So we are begging on Nigerians to continue the support, continue the follow-up. We really appreciate all the love and concern.
If he had not been, that's not the matter for them.
Yes.
That is all we can take on today's show. Hope you learned a few things as we have. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.